Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about my top 10 books of 2014. Now, I know usually we always do like top 13 books of 2013. This year will probably have been top 14 of 2014. But I honestly wasn't even going to make this video if I'm being 100% honest. And that's because I look back on my past books I've read this year and I wasn't really thrilled with a lot of books I've read. I read good books, but I didn't read a lot of really amazing books. And I had a really hard time coming up with 10 that were my favorite. And the year before that, I had no problem picking my favorites because I think I read 75 books. This year I only read like 47, so it's like 30 something books different. So yeah, these are not going to be exactly numbered. I did a blog post on it, but yeah, these are just going to be kind of random. I don't have a particular favorite or particular something, so I'm just going to list you the 10 favorites that I did read this year. The first one is going to be Breathe, Annie, Breathe by Miranda Kelleny, and I went into this. I like the plot. It's about a girl named Annie who is training for a marathon in honor of her deceased ex-boyfriend, and it's a very, very good novel for getting over things, for pushing yourself to train for things. I was very pleasantly surprised by this book. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did, so I highly like that one. The next one is Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. Of course, this is going to be on my list. It's a Stephanie Perkins book. I loved it so. I would say it's not my favorite of the Stephanie Perkins books I've read, but it was a really, really good one. Next book is going to be Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I'm sure this is going to be on everyone's list. This was a really good book. It was a very funny kind of satire book, and had action in it. It kind of reminded me almost of Buffy because it was funny, but it was about a girl who was kicked butt and, got this power she didn't ask for. So I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. It's highly hilarious, and you will love it, I promise, if you read it. The next book is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste, and I can't pronounce her name. I got sent this book for review, and I read it on a whim, and I thought it was YA, but it's not. It's like an adult mystery, which it was a big step out of my comfort zone, which I'm proud of. It's about a family in the 1960s or 70s, if I'm correct. What happens is their daughter dies, and the whole book she's not dead, but it's about family, and it's about like an interracial type of family and the struggle and going through. It's a very, very, very good book. It's not even that much of a mystery, but it's more of a family and all that kind of stuff. Very, very good book. Next one to come as no surprise is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. It took me forever to read this because I don't like to read books on cancer because it's a very near and dear subject to my heart. But nevertheless, this book was just as amazing as everyone said. I'd probably say I didn't enjoy as much as everyone else did because I knew the plot and what happened before I read it because it's been out for forever. So I think that did kind of lessen my love for it because I kind of already knew what was going to happen. So I didn't like sob hysterically at the end of it, but I did shed tears. So it was very well written though. One of my favorite book quotes forever. Of all time is in that book. Yeah, Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. Morgan Matson just can't stay off my favorites list, it seems. This is a super cute contemporary book. Oh my gosh, so good. It's about two best friends, and one best friend kind of she moves away and stuff without telling the other one, and so it's about her other best friend rediscovering and learning who she is, and it's a very, very cute book. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Then we have Landline by Rainbow Rowell. This is an adult book by Rainbow Rowell. It's about a marriage that's kind of falling apart, and I think some people didn't love this book as much as I did, but I just liked the realness of it. Like, it was a real marriage, I thought, and I really liked that there really wasn't a lot of infidelity or cheating going on because I feel like with a lot of adult books I read that happens, and that makes me so sad to read about that. But I really loved reading this one. This was like a marriage that was really trying to work out, and I loved reading it. So Rainbow Rowell just can't write anything bad in my opinion. I just love it all. Then we have Blue Lily, Lily Blue by Maggie Stiefvater. This was the third book in the Raven cycle, and I adored this one. I love the Raven cycle. I won't go too much into it because I have told you guys my feelings about it forever ago. It's a hard series to get into, but it's so worth it. This one was it was amazing, and I can't wait for the last book to come out in the cycle. It was so good. And then we have City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. This was the last book, finally, in the Immortal Instrument series. And I say that because it was supposed to end like on book 3, but the author decided to send it to make it 3 or 4 more books. I can't remember. It was a perfect series under, I thought. Cassandra Clare has a way of somewhat breaking your hearts but giving you everything you wanted in the same thing. So She just knows how to write a series ending perfectly, in my opinion. I said I didn't really have a favorite, but I kind of do. And that is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. And this includes Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire, all rolled into one. I discovered this series this past year and I fell in love with it. It is a high fantasy series about a girl that is an assassin and has to compete to be the king's assassin, and it goes on and changes in different books, but it was so amazing. If you're wary of fantasy, much like myself, this is a perfect series to get into because it's just full of action and it's got romance in it that you want, and there's so many different romances that could happen that you're just like, what to do? Kale forever over here. Those are my top 10 of 2014, and I'm not super in love with this list, but this list is what it is. I just made this video because I'm sure you guys want to see this, and yeah, like I said, I'm not too thrilled about the list, but it's just gonna have to be what it is. I hope that's okay. I hope I read this. My next year's goal is to read amazing books. Not just books I'm reading to fill the time, but amazing books. Anyway, that's all for me, and I will see you next year for this 2015 favorites, which hopefully will be full of like amazing books. Back here, you will find links such as to my Instagram, my Twitter, my blog, which I post very regularly now because blogging is a lot easier than videoing. So check that blog out for book reviews, for different personal stuff, for Top 10 Tuesdays and all that kind of stuff. You'll also find my other YouTube channel link over here called Lifeables, where I talk a lot about my baby and other various things. So check those out. Click any one of them and magic will happen. Ooh, magic.